Do you ever find yourself struggling to express your thoughts clearly? Maybe you hesitate before speaking, worry about saying the wrong thing, or feel nervous in conversations. Communication can be challenging, but it is also the most powerful skill you can develop. Every word you speak has the potential to connect, inspire, and influence people around you. Imagine having the confidence to speak effortlessly in any situation. Picture yourself expressing ideas clearly, engaging listeners, and making every conversation meaningful. This audiobook is designed to help you achieve exactly that. In just a few minutes a day, you can improve your communication skills, understand how to convey your thoughts effectively, and create stronger connections with everyone you interact with. In the next chapters, you will learn simple yet powerful strategies to enhance your speaking, listening, and overall communication abilities. These lessons are practical, easy to apply, and designed to fit into your daily life. Whether you want to excel in personal conversations, professional meetings, or public speaking, these insights will guide you step by step. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you'll get more tips and guidance on improving communication, boosting confidence, and enhancing personal growth. This audiobook is your first step towards speaking with clarity, confidence, and influence. Are you ready to transform your communication in just a few minutes? Let's get started. Chapter 1: Understanding the Basics of Communication. Communication is the bridge that connects us to others. Every day, in countless ways, we communicate through words, gestures, expressions, and even silence. Yet, despite its importance, many people struggle to communicate effectively. Some speak too quickly, while others hesitate and lose their confidence. Some misunderstand others because they don't listen carefully. Communication is not just about talking, it is about connecting, understanding, and being understood. Mastering it can open doors, strengthen relationships, and create opportunities that might otherwise remain closed. To become a better communicator, it is important to first understand the basic elements of communication. At its core, communication involves a sender, a message, and a receiver. The sender encodes a message in words, tone, and body language. The receiver decodes it, interpreting both the words and the emotions behind them. Miscommunication often happens when the sender's message is unclear or when the receiver misinterprets it. Therefore, clarity is essential. Clear communication ensures that your ideas, intentions, and emotions are understood as you mean them to be. Words are the building blocks of communication. Every word carries meaning and emotion, whether spoken or written. Choosing your words carefully can help convey your thoughts accurately and leave a positive impression. For instance, saying "I appreciate your help" expresses gratitude, whereas thanks may feel less sincere. Understanding the subtle power of words allows you to connect more deeply with others. Over time, selecting words thoughtfully becomes a habit that enhances all your interactions. However, communication is not just about the words you use. Tone of voice is equally important. The same sentence can feel encouraging, harsh, or indifferent, depending on how it is spoken. A calm and confident tone makes your message more persuasive and trustworthy. On the other hand, a rushed or uncertain tone can confuse your listener and weaken your point. By practicing control over your tone, you ensure that your words carry the intended meaning and emotion. Nonverbal communication is another crucial aspect. Gestures, posture, facial expressions, and eye contact all contribute to how your message is received. For example, crossing your arms while speaking may signal defensiveness, even if your words are friendly. Smiling while maintaining eye contact conveys warmth and confidence. By aligning your body language with your words, you make your communication more authentic and effective. Skilled communicators are aware of their nonverbal signals and use them to reinforce their message. Listening is one of the most important, yet often overlooked, skills in communication. Many people focus on what they are going to say next, rather than fully hearing the other person. Active listening requires giving your full attention, observing nonverbal cues, and understanding the speaker's perspective. When you listen attentively, people feel valued, which encourages openness and trust. Effective listening also helps you respond thoughtfully, ask the right questions, and avoid misunderstandings. Leaders and successful communicators know that listening is as powerful as speaking. Empathy enhances communication by helping you understand the feelings and perspectives of others. When you speak with awareness of someone else's emotions, your message becomes more relatable and meaningful. Empathetic communication builds trust and strengthens relationships. For example, acknowledging someone's frustration before offering a solution shows understanding and respect. Over time, empathy becomes a natural part of how you communicate, allowing you to influence, inspire, and connect with others more effectively. Confidence plays a central role in communication. People are more likely to listen and engage when you speak with self-assurance. Confidence comes from preparation, knowledge, and practice. Even if you feel nervous, projecting confidence through steady tone, clear words, and open body language helps others take you seriously. Confidence is not about being loud or dominant. It is about conveying certainty in your ideas and sincerity in your words. As you practice, confidence grows, making communication easier and more natural. Another essential skill is adaptability. Different situations require different approaches. A casual conversation with a friend is not the same as a presentation to colleagues or a formal discussion with a client. Adapting your communication style to the context ensures that your message is received appropriately and effectively. This includes adjusting your tone, word choice, body language, and level of detail to match the audience and setting. People who communicate adaptively are able to connect with a wider range of individuals and situations. Clarity and simplicity are key to being understood. Overcomplicating your message or using technical jargon can confuse listeners and dilute your point. Instead, focus on expressing your ideas in a clear, concise, and logical manner. Use examples or stories to illustrate complex concepts, making them more relatable. Clear communication not only conveys information, but also demonstrates thoughtfulness and competence. Feedback is an integral part of communication. Giving and receiving feedback helps improve understanding, correct errors, and strengthen relationships. Constructive feedback delivered with kindness encourages improvement and trust. Similarly, being open to receiving feedback allows you to grow and refine your communication skills. People who handle feedback well demonstrate emotional intelligence and a willingness to improve, which enhances their credibility and influence. Practice is the final key to mastering communication. Just like any other skill, communication improves with consistent effort. Engage in conversations, observe the impact of your words and actions, and adjust accordingly. Practice speaking clearly, listening attentively, using tone effectively, and expressing empathy. Over time, these habits become second nature, allowing you to communicate naturally, confidently, and persuasively. Communication is more than a skill. It is a bridge to meaningful relationships, opportunities, and personal growth. By understanding the power of words, practicing active listening, observing nonverbal cues, speaking with empathy, projecting confidence, adapting to situations, seeking clarity, embracing feedback, and practicing regularly, you build a foundation for strong, effective communication. When you master these elements, you are no longer just speaking, you are connecting, influencing, and inspiring. Chapter 2. Listening to understand. Communication is not just about speaking, it is equally about listening. Many people think that being a good communicator means talking well, but true communication involves understanding the other person's perspective. Listening carefully, without interrupting or judging, allows you to grasp the meaning, emotion, and intention behind the words. When you listen to understand rather than to respond, you build trust, respect, and meaningful connections. The first step in effective listening is being fully present. This means giving your complete attention to the speaker without distractions or planning your response while they are talking. Turn off your phone, make eye contact, and focus on the conversation. Presence communicates respect and makes the speaker feel valued. People who practice being present are able to pick up on subtle cues and understand the true meaning behind the words. Another important aspect is active listening. Active listening involves not only hearing the words, but also interpreting the tone, body language, and emotions. Nod occasionally, respond with brief affirmations like, "I understand," or repeat key points to show that you are engaged. Asking clarifying questions when something is unclear demonstrates that you are paying attention and care about understanding correctly. Active listening strengthens relationships and prevents misunderstandings. Empathy is a crucial component of listening. When you put yourself in someone else's shoes, you begin to understand their feelings, concerns, and motivations. Empathetic listening requires you to focus on the speaker's emotions as well as their words. For example, if a friend says, "I'm stressed about work," empathize by acknowledging their stress and showing support rather than immediately offering solutions. Empathy builds connection and trust, making your communication more effective. Avoiding judgment is another key to listening effectively. When you listen with preconceived notions, criticisms, or assumptions, you miss the true meaning of the message. Stay open-minded and receptive, even if you disagree with the speaker. Suspend judgment and focus on understanding. People who listen without judgment create safe spaces where others feel comfortable sharing honestly. Nonverbal cues play a vital role in listening. Paying attention to gestures, facial expressions, posture, and tone of voice helps you understand emotions and subtext. Sometimes, what is not said verbally carries more meaning than the words themselves. Skilled communicators interpret these nonverbal signals to respond appropriately and empathetically. Your own body language should also reflect attentiveness. Lean slightly forward, maintain eye contact, and avoid crossing your arms, which could signal disinterest. Silence can be powerful in listening. Allowing pauses gives the speaker space to think and express themselves fully. Interrupting too quickly can prevent them from sharing important details. Silence also gives you time to process what you've heard and respond thoughtfully. By using silence effectively, you show respect and demonstrate that you value the conversation. Listening is also about understanding context. People communicate differently based on their culture, experiences, and personality. Observing context helps you interpret messages accurately. For example, someone may seem reserved, not because they are disinterested, but because they are naturally shy. Understanding these nuances prevents misunderstandings and enhances communication. Taking notes or mentally summarizing key points can help reinforce your understanding. When appropriate, summarize what you have heard in your own words to confirm clarity. Statements like, "So what you're saying is," show that you are paying attention and ensure both parties are on the same page. Confirming understanding prevents confusion and strengthens trust. Empowering the speaker is another benefit of effective listening. When people feel heard, they gain confidence and are more willing to share openly. Encouraging dialogue, asking thoughtful questions, and responding with validation demonstrates that you value the speaker's perspective. Leaders and skilled communicators know that empowering others through listening builds loyalty, cooperation, and influence. Listening is a skill that requires practice and patience. It may feel unnatural at first to focus entirely on someone else without preparing your response. Begin by practicing in low-stakes situations, like casual conversations with friends or family. Gradually, listening with attention, empathy, and understanding will become a natural habit. Over time, these habits strengthen relationships, enhance influence, and improve overall communication. So, listening to understand is a lifelong practice. Every conversation provides an opportunity to improve your listening skills. By being present, practicing active listening, showing empathy, avoiding judgment, interpreting nonverbal cues, allowing silence, understanding context, summarizing, and empowering speakers, you create meaningful, impactful communication. True mastery comes from integrating listening into your daily interactions, making it a cornerstone of confident and effective communication. Chapter 3. Speaking with confidence. Communication is not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Even if you have valuable ideas, if you speak with hesitation or uncertainty, your message may not have the impact it deserves. Speaking with confidence allows your words to be heard, your thoughts to be respected, and your ideas to influence others effectively. Confidence in communication is a skill that can be developed with practice, awareness, and intentional effort. The first step in speaking with confidence is believing in your message. When you truly understand and value what you are saying, it shows in your tone, pace, and body language. People are naturally drawn to those who speak with conviction. If you believe in your ideas, your audience is more likely to believe in them too. Developing confidence begins with internal validation, rather than relying solely on the approval of others. Preparation is a key component of confident speaking. Organize your thoughts, outline key points, and anticipate questions or objections. Preparation reduces anxiety, clarifies your message, and allows you to speak smoothly. Even in casual conversations, mentally reviewing what you want to communicate helps maintain confidence. Leaders and effective communicators prepare in advance, ensuring that their words are clear, concise, and persuasive. Body language greatly influences how confident you appear. Standing tall, maintaining eye contact, using purposeful gestures, and keeping a calm demeanor conveys assurance. Avoiding fidgeting, slouching, or looking away frequently helps maintain authority and credibility. Nonverbal cues often speak louder than words, and mastering them strengthens the impact of your communication. Confident speakers use their body language to reinforce, not contradict their message. Voice modulation also contributes to confident communication. Speaking too softly may suggest uncertainty, while speaking too loudly can appear aggressive. Finding the right volume, pacing, and intonation ensures that your message is engaging and persuasive. Pausing strategically allows your audience to absorb information and gives you time to think. Confident speakers use their voice as a tool to emphasize important points and maintain listener interest. Overcoming fear is essential for confident speaking. Many people feel nervous about judgment, mistakes, or rejection. Accept that nervousness is natural and view it as an opportunity to grow. Focus on the value of your message rather than the fear of evaluation. Gradually exposing yourself to speaking situations, starting small and increasing complexity, helps build resilience and reduces anxiety over time. Each successful interaction reinforces your confidence. Clarity of expression is crucial. Speak in simple, understandable terms, avoiding unnecessary jargon or overcomplicated sentences. Clear expression ensures that your ideas are easily comprehended and reduces the likelihood of confusion. When your audience understands your message without effort, they are more likely to engage positively and respond thoughtfully. Confident speakers prioritize clarity to maximize impact and connection. Active engagement with your audience enhances confidence. Observe listener reactions, ask questions, and adjust your message accordingly. Engaging the audience demonstrates awareness, builds rapport, and allows for smoother communication. People who interact confidently with their listeners are seen as approachable, knowledgeable, and persuasive. Interaction also reinforces the speaker's control and comfort in the conversation. Self-compassion supports confident communication. Accept that mistakes may happen and that perfection is not required. If you stumble over words or forget a point, remain calm, correct yourself, and continue. Being forgiving of yourself reduces anxiety and maintains composure. Confident communicators treat errors as natural and manageable, which enhances authenticity and credibility. Practice is the cornerstone. of developing speaking confidence. Rehearse speeches, participate in conversations, and seek opportunities to communicate in various contexts. Over time, repeated practice builds comfort, fluency, and assurance. Observing others, learning from feedback, and reflecting on your experiences further refine your skills. Confidence grows with consistent effort, and mastery is achieved through repetition and reflection. So speaking with confidence is about authenticity. When you communicate genuinely, expressing your true thoughts and feelings, your message becomes more compelling. Audiences connect with authenticity, which enhances trust, influence, and engagement. Combining preparation, body language, voice control, clarity, audience engagement, self-compassion, and practice allows you to speak confidently in any situation. Confident communication opens doors, strengthens relationships, and empowers you to convey your ideas effectively. Chapter 4. The Art of Asking Questions. One of the most powerful skills in communication is the ability to ask the right questions. Questions do more than gather information. They encourage conversation, show interest, and create connection. Asking thoughtful questions demonstrates curiosity, empathy, and engagement, making your communication more effective and memorable. When used strategically, questions can guide discussions, clarify understanding, and foster deeper relationships. The first step in mastering questions is understanding their purpose. Questions can serve many functions: seeking information, encouraging reflection, showing empathy, or stimulating ideas. Recognize the goal behind your question. Are you trying to understand someone's perspective, clarify a situation, or engage them in meaningful dialogue? Being clear about your intent helps you formulate questions that create productive and positive interaction. Open-ended questions are particularly effective. These are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. Instead, they encourage elaboration and deeper thinking. For example, asking, "How did you approach that challenge?" invites explanation, reflection, and engagement, whereas "Did you handle that challenge?" may lead to a short, uninformative response. Open-ended questions foster connection and show that you value the speaker's insights. Active listening is crucial when asking questions. To ask meaningful questions, you must first understand the context and emotions behind the conversation. Listen attentively, notice body language and tone, and observe subtle cues. This awareness allows you to follow up with relevant questions that deepen understanding and maintain engagement. Skilled communicators combine listening and questioning seamlessly to create fluid, impactful conversations. Empathy enhances the effectiveness of your questions. By considering the feelings and perspectives of the person you are speaking with, you can frame questions in a supportive and non-threatening manner. For instance, instead of asking, "Why didn't you do it this way?" you might ask, "Can you share your approach and what challenges you faced?" Empathetic questioning encourages openness, honesty, and collaboration. Clarity is also important in asking questions. A well-phrased question avoids ambiguity, confusion, or unintended judgment. Keep your questions simple, direct, and specific. Clear questions increase the likelihood of receiving meaningful responses and reduce misunderstandings. Communication experts know that clarity in questioning builds trust and reinforces credibility. Timing and pacing influence how questions are received. Asking too many questions at once or interrupting the speaker can feel overwhelming or intrusive. Allow the conversation to flow naturally and give space for responses. Pausing between questions and letting the speaker elaborate demonstrates patience, respect, and attentiveness. Well-timed questions create a comfortable environment and enhance communication effectiveness. Follow-up questions are another essential tool. They show that you are actively engaged and interested in what the other person is saying. Reflect on their answers, seek clarification if needed, and explore related points. Follow-up questions demonstrate critical thinking, attentiveness, and genuine curiosity. Leaders and effective communicators use follow-ups to build deeper understanding and stronger connections. Asking questions also requires a balance between curiosity and respect. Avoid probing into sensitive topics without permission or pressing for information unnecessarily. Respect personal boundaries while remaining engaged and interested. People respond positively when they feel that your questions are thoughtful, appropriate, and considerate. Communication that respects boundaries fosters trust, openness, and meaningful interaction. Practicing the art of questioning strengthens overall communication skills. Begin by observing conversations and noting how questions guide discussions. Experiment with different types of questions in various contexts, from casual conversations to professional settings. Over time, formulating thoughtful, engaging, and empathetic questions becomes second nature, enhancing your ability to connect and communicate effectively. So, asking questions is about building relationships and understanding. When done with intention, empathy, clarity, and respect, questions create dialogue, deepen connections, and reveal insights that might otherwise be missed. The art of questioning is a skill that allows you to engage others meaningfully, demonstrate interest and understanding, and become a more persuasive and effective communicator. Chapter 5. The importance of listening and responding. Communication is a two-way street. While speaking confidently and asking questions are essential, the ability to listen and respond thoughtfully is equally important. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak. It is actively engaging with the speaker, understanding their perspective, and responding in a way that shows respect and comprehension. Effective listening strengthens relationships, reduces misunderstandings, and makes your communication more impactful. The first step in effective listening is being present. Give your full attention to the person speaking, avoiding distractions like phones, emails, or wandering thoughts. Presence communicates respect and makes the speaker feel valued. When you are fully engaged, you are better able to pick up on subtle cues, emotions, and underlying messages that might otherwise go unnoticed. People who are present in conversations are perceived as trustworthy, attentive, and empathetic. Active listening involves more than just hearing words. It requires interpreting tone, observing body language, and understanding emotions. Nodding, maintaining eye contact, and offering short verbal acknowledgements like "I see" or "I understand" show that you are engaged. Reflecting on what the speaker says and asking clarifying questions demonstrates that you are paying attention and truly care about their perspective. Active listening builds rapport and ensures that communication is clear and meaningful. Empathy is a critical component of listening. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes helps you understand their feelings, motivations, and concerns. Empathetic listening requires you to focus on the speaker's experience without judgment or interruption. For instance, if a friend expresses frustration about work, acknowledging their feelings and offering supportive comments can validate their emotions and create a deeper connection. Empathy not only improves understanding, but also fosters trust and strengthens relationships. Another key aspect of listening is avoiding premature judgment. When you listen with preconceived notions or assumptions, you may misinterpret the message or respond inappropriately. Keep an open mind and focus on understanding before evaluating or offering advice. Suspending judgment allows you to gather accurate information and respond thoughtfully. People who listen without judgment create a safe environment for open dialogue, which enhances communication effectiveness. Nonverbal cues are crucial when listening. Observing facial expressions, gestures, and posture can reveal emotions that may not be expressed in words. Similarly, your own body language should reflect attentiveness. Lean slightly forward, maintain eye contact, and avoid defensive or closed postures. Aligning your nonverbal communication with your verbal acknowledgement enhances trust and shows that you are genuinely engaged. Responding effectively is as important as listening. Thoughtful responses demonstrate understanding, respect, and engagement. Avoid interrupting, giving unsolicited advice, or speaking hastily. Instead, Pause to consider the speaker's perspective and respond in a way that addresses their points, acknowledges their feelings, and contributes to the conversation. Well-considered responses strengthen credibility, encourage openness, and deepen relationships. Asking follow-up questions after listening shows continued interest and engagement. Reflect on what has been shared and explore it further to encourage elaboration. For example, if someone shares a challenge they faced, you might ask, "How did you approach that situation?" or "What lessons did you take from that experience?" Follow-up questions indicate attentiveness, curiosity, and respect, making conversations more meaningful. Listening is also about understanding context. People's words are influenced by their experiences, culture, and emotions. Paying attention to these factors helps interpret the message accurately and respond appropriately. Misunderstanding context can lead to confusion, conflict, or missed opportunities for connection. Effective communicators consider the whole picture, not just the words spoken. Patience is essential in listening. Give the speaker time to articulate their thoughts fully. Avoid interrupting or rushing the conversation, even if you feel you already know the answer or point they are making. Allowing silence when needed gives space for reflection and ensures that both parties feel heard. Patience fosters respect, trust, and a deeper connection between speakers. Listening and responding thoughtfully is a skill that improves with practice. Engage in conversations regularly. Observe how people react to your responses and reflect on your effectiveness. Experiment with active listening, empathetic engagement, thoughtful responses, and patience. Over time, these habits become natural, creating a communication style that is both impactful and compassionate. So, listening to understand and responding thoughtfully is about creating meaningful dialogue. It requires presence, active listening, empathy, suspension of judgment, awareness of nonverbal cues, thoughtful responses, follow-up questions, contextual understanding, and patience. Mastering this skill allows you to build stronger relationships, avoid misunderstandings, and communicate in a way that is confident, respectful, and persuasive. Chapter 6: Nonverbal Communication. Communication is more than just words. What you say is important, but how you say it, the gestures, expressions, and body language that accompany your words often has an even greater impact. Nonverbal communication is a powerful tool that can reinforce your message, convey emotions, and build trust. Understanding and mastering nonverbal cues is essential for improving your communication skills and connecting effectively with others. The first step is awareness of your body language. Your posture, gestures, and movements send signals about your confidence, openness, and intentions. Standing tall with shoulders back conveys confidence, while slouching or crossing your arms can signal discomfort or defensiveness. Being aware of your body language helps ensure that it aligns with the words you are speaking, creating a consistent and credible message. Facial expressions are another vital component of nonverbal communication. Smiling shows friendliness and approachability, while a frown or tense expression may signal disapproval or stress. Your facial expressions should reflect the emotions behind your message. People are highly attuned to these subtle cues, and mismatched expressions can lead to confusion or mistrust. By controlling and aligning your facial expressions with your words, you strengthen the impact of your communication. Eye contact is one of the most powerful nonverbal tools. Maintaining appropriate eye contact shows engagement, confidence, and sincerity. Avoiding eye contact may suggest insecurity or disinterest, while excessive staring can be intimidating. Learning to balance eye contact builds rapport and makes your audience feel seen and respected. Leaders and skilled communicators understand that effective eye contact enhances trust and connection. Gestures complement your words and can emphasize key points. Using your hands naturally while speaking adds clarity and energy to your message. Gestures can also help illustrate concepts or ideas, making your communication more engaging and memorable. Avoid repetitive or distracting movements, as they can detract from your message. When used intentionally, Gestures reinforce your words and convey enthusiasm, confidence, and clarity. Tone of voice is another nonverbal element that conveys emotion and intent. The way you speak, your volume, pitch, pace, and intonation affects how your message is received. A calm and confident tone inspires trust, while a rushed or uncertain tone can create confusion. Adjusting your tone to match the content and emotion of your message ensures clarity and strengthens the connection with your audience. Proxemics, or the use of personal space, also plays a role in nonverbal communication. Standing too close can feel intrusive, while being too distant may create a sense of detachment. Understanding personal space preferences helps create comfort and respect during interactions. Adjusting your distance appropriately demonstrates awareness and sensitivity to the needs of others. Nonverbal communication also includes listening cues. Nodding, leaning slightly forward, and maintaining an attentive posture indicate that you are actively engaged in the conversation. These cues encourage the speaker and reinforce your attentiveness and interest. Conversely, fidgeting, looking away, or checking your phone can signal disinterest or distraction. Being mindful of your listening cues enhances your presence and strengthens communication. Cultural differences influence nonverbal communication as well. Gestures, eye contact, personal space, and expressions may vary across cultures. Being aware of cultural norms prevents misunderstandings and allows for more respectful and effective communication. Observing and adapting to these differences demonstrates sensitivity and emotional intelligence. Practice is essential for mastering nonverbal communication. Observe your own body language, facial expressions, and tone during interactions. Notice how others respond and adjust accordingly. Record yourself speaking or practice in front of a mirror to refine gestures, posture, and expressions. Over time, nonverbal skills become natural and enhance your overall communication. Nonverbal communication is not only about how others perceive you, it also affects how you feel. Standing tall, maintaining eye contact, and using confident gestures can boost self-confidence and reinforce positive self-perception. The way you carry yourself influences both your inner state and the impression you make on others. Finally, integrating verbal and nonverbal communication creates consistency and credibility. When your words, tone, gestures, facial expressions, and body language are aligned, your message is powerful, authentic, and persuasive. Mastering nonverbal communication strengthens your ability to connect, influence, and engage with others effectively, making you a more compelling and confident communicator. Chapter 7: The Art of Persuasion. Communication is not only about sharing information, it is also about influencing others. Persuasion is the ability to present your ideas in a way that inspires, convinces, and motivates people to think, feel, or act differently. Mastering the art of persuasion is a critical skill for personal, professional, and social success. Whether you are giving a presentation, negotiating, or simply trying to make a point in a conversation, persuasive communication helps you achieve your goals while maintaining trust and respect. The first step in persuasion is understanding your audience. Effective persuasion begins with knowing the people you are speaking to, their values, interests, needs, and concerns. Tailoring your message to resonate with your audience increases the likelihood that your ideas will be heard and accepted. Empathy and active listening are key to identifying what matters most to your listeners, allowing you to connect on a deeper level. Clarity of thought is essential for persuasive communication. Before presenting your ideas, organize your points logically. Make sure your message is easy to understand, compelling, and free of ambiguity. Clear communication demonstrates competence, builds credibility, and increases the persuasive power of your words. People are more likely to be convinced by ideas that are structured, coherent, and easy to follow. Confidence plays a crucial role in persuasion. If you speak with certainty and belief in your message, others are more likely to take you seriously. Confidence is conveyed not only through your words, but also through your tone, body language, and expressions. Even if you feel nervous, projecting confidence creates authority and trust. Practicing your message, understanding your material, and preparing for potential questions strengthens your self-assurance and persuasive ability. Storytelling is a powerful tool for persuasion. People are naturally drawn to stories. They create emotional connections, illustrate points vividly, and make ideas memorable. Incorporating personal anecdotes, examples, or case studies helps your audience relate to your message. Stories engage listeners emotionally, making your ideas more compelling and easier to remember. Skilled communicators use storytelling strategically to enhance their influence. Evidence and logic support persuasion. Presenting facts, data, or examples strengthens your argument and increases credibility. When you combine emotional appeal with logical reasoning, your message becomes balanced and convincing. People are more likely to trust and accept ideas that are backed by evidence and presented thoughtfully. Leaders, educators, and skilled communicators integrate both emotion and logic to persuade effectively. Empathy and understanding objections are also important. Anticipate concerns or resistance from your audience and address them respectfully. Demonstrating that you understand different perspectives shows that you are thoughtful, considerate, and credible. Responding to objections calmly and with clarity reduces defensiveness and increases the likelihood of agreement. Effective persuasion involves not just presenting your ideas, but also engaging in a respectful dialogue. Nonverbal cues enhance persuasive communication. Confident posture, purposeful gestures, steady eye contact, and appropriate facial expressions reinforce your message. Your nonverbal communication should align with your words, creating consistency and credibility. When verbal and nonverbal signals match, your message becomes more compelling, trustworthy, and memorable. Repetition and reinforcement can strengthen persuasion. Repeating key points, summarizing main ideas, and reinforcing important messages ensures that your audience retains critical information. Emphasize the benefits, value, or relevance of your ideas to make them more persuasive. Repetition, when done naturally and strategically, increases understanding, recall, and acceptance. Practice and experience are essential for developing persuasive skills. Engage in conversations, debates, or presentations regularly. Observe how people respond to different approaches, refine your techniques, and adjust your strategies accordingly. With consistent practice, persuasion becomes more natural, effective, and effortless. Over time, you learn how to balance logic, emotion, empathy, and confidence to influence others effectively. So, ethical persuasion is key. Persuasion should never manipulate, deceive, or harm others. The most effective communicators persuade with integrity, focusing on creating mutually beneficial outcomes. By maintaining honesty, respect, and empathy, you build trust and credibility, which are essential for long-term influence and meaningful relationships. Mastering persuasion allows you to communicate your ideas confidently, inspire action, and create positive impact while maintaining respect and trust. Chapter 8: Building Rapport. One of the most important skills in communication is the ability to build rapport. Rapport is the connection, trust, and understanding you create with others during interactions. When people feel understood and valued, they are more open, cooperative, and engaged. Building rapport is essential in both personal and professional relationships, as it lays the foundation for effective communication, collaboration, and influence. The first step in building rapport is showing genuine interest in the other person. Ask questions, listen actively, and pay attention to their responses. People can sense when someone is truly interested versus when they are just going through the motions. Genuine curiosity fosters connection, encourages dialogue, and makes the other person feel valued. Being interested in others also provides insights into their thoughts, feelings, and motivations, helping you respond more effectively. Active listening is crucial for rapport. When someone speaks, give your full attention. Maintain eye contact and acknowledge their points. Repeat or paraphrase their words to show understanding and respond thoughtfully. Avoid interrupting or thinking about your next statement while they are talking. People who listen actively create a sense of trust and respect, making conversations more meaningful. Leaders, salespeople, and skilled communicators rely on active listening to build strong relationships. Empathy strengthens rapport by allowing you to connect emotionally with others. Recognizing and acknowledging the feelings of the person you are speaking with demonstrates understanding and care. For example, if someone expresses frustration, saying, "I can see why that would be difficult," validates their experience and fosters connection. Empathy encourages openness, trust, and collaboration, making communication more effective and enjoyable. Matching and mirroring is another technique to build rapport. This involves subtly reflecting the other person's body language, tone, pace, and gestures. When done naturally, mirroring creates a sense of familiarity and comfort. People often feel more at ease when interacting with someone who subconsciously aligns with their behavior. However, it is important to be subtle and authentic to avoid appearing insincere or manipulative. Positive language enhances rapport. Using encouraging, respectful, and constructive words creates a welcoming and supportive environment. Avoid negative, judgmental, or critical statements, as they can create tension or defensiveness. Positive language promotes openness, trust, and collaboration. Simple phrases like, "I appreciate your perspective," or "That's an interesting point," can go a long way in fostering connection. Nonverbal cues also play a significant role in building rapport. Smiling, maintaining eye contact, nodding, and using open gestures convey warmth, attentiveness, and approachability. Conversely, crossed arms, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact can signal disinterest or discomfort. Aligning your nonverbal communication with your verbal message reinforces authenticity and strengthens connections. Finding common ground is essential in establishing rapport. Shared interests, experiences, or goals provide a foundation for connection. When you highlight similarities, people feel understood and comfortable. However, it is important to avoid forcing connections. Genuine commonalities create trust naturally. Discovering shared values or experiences enhances communication and promotes collaboration. Adaptability is another key to rapport. People have different communication styles, preferences, and cultural norms. Being flexible and adjusting your approach to suit the individual or situation demonstrates respect and emotional intelligence. Adapting tone, pacing, and style allows you to connect effectively with a diverse range of people, enhancing relationships and communication impact. Humor, when used appropriately, can also strengthen rapport. Light-hearted comments or shared laughter create comfort and reduce tension. Humor fosters a positive atmosphere and makes interactions more enjoyable. However, it is essential to be mindful of context and cultural sensitivity to avoid offense or misunderstandings. Thoughtful use of humor enhances connection and encourages engagement. Trust is the foundation of rapport. Being consistent, honest, and reliable in your words and actions ensures that others feel safe and respected. Trust allows people to open up, share ideas, and collaborate effectively. Building trust takes time and effort, but is essential for long-term, meaningful relationships. Communicators who prioritize trust are more influential, persuasive, and respected. Building rapport is a skill that improves with practice. Engage in conversations regularly, pay attention to reactions, and refine your approach. Observe how people respond to your words, tone, body language, and questions. Over time, building rapport becomes natural, making communication smoother, more engaging, and impactful. So rapport is about connection, showing genuine interest, listening actively, demonstrating empathy, mirroring behavior, using positive language, aligning nonverbal cues, finding common ground, adapting to individuals, incorporating appropriate humor, and establishing trust, all contribute to creating meaningful interactions. When rapport is established, communication becomes effortless, relationships strengthen, and influence grows. Mastering the art of rapport allows you to connect authentically, engage effectively, and create lasting impact in all areas of life. Chapter 9: Handling Difficult Conversations. Communication isn't always easy. There are times when you have to navigate difficult conversations, disagreements, conflicts, or emotionally charged discussions. Handling these situations effectively is a crucial skill for building trust, maintaining relationships, and ensuring that your message is heard. Difficult conversations can be challenging, but with the right approach, they can also strengthen understanding and foster respect. The first step in managing a difficult conversation is preparing yourself mentally and emotionally. Before speaking, take a moment to understand your emotions, the purpose of the conversation, and the outcomes you hope to achieve. Preparing yourself helps you stay calm, focused, and clear, reducing the likelihood of reactive or emotionally charged responses. People who prepare thoughtfully communicate more effectively and maintain composure even in challenging situations. Listening is essential during difficult conversations. Often people focus on defending themselves or presenting their point of view, which can escalate conflict. Active listening involves giving full attention to the other person, acknowledging their feelings, and understanding their perspective. When others feel heard, they are more likely to respond calmly and cooperate. Listening demonstrates respect and creates an environment where constructive dialogue can occur. Empathy is crucial in these situations. Recognizing and validating the other person's emotions shows that you care and are willing to understand their perspective. Statements like, "I understand that this situation is frustrating for you," can diffuse tension and foster cooperation. Empathy allows you to connect on a human level, even when opinions differ, and makes it easier to find common ground. Clarity of expression is vital. When presenting your thoughts, speak calmly, clearly, and directly. Avoid vague statements or emotional exaggeration, as they can cause confusion or defensiveness. Focus on the issue at hand, rather than attacking the person. Using clear, factual, and objective language ensures that your message is understood and reduces misunderstandings. Managing your emotions is another key factor. Difficult conversations can trigger stress, anger, or fear. Maintaining composure, controlling tone, and regulating body language prevents escalation. Take deep breaths, pause if needed, and avoid reacting impulsively. People who remain calm under pressure are more persuasive, respected, and effective in resolving conflicts. Timing and setting also influence the outcome. Choosing an appropriate time and private setting for the conversation demonstrates respect and consideration. Avoid discussing sensitive topics in public or when emotions are high. A thoughtful environment allows both parties to focus, communicate openly, and reach understanding. Context matters, and careful timing can make a significant difference in how the conversation unfolds. Asking open-ended questions can guide the discussion productively. Questions such as, "Can you explain your perspective?" or "What do you think would help resolve this?" encourage dialogue and problem-solving. Open-ended questions allow the other person to express themselves fully and provide insights that help you respond effectively. They also shift the focus from confrontation to collaboration. Finding common ground is essential in resolving conflicts. Identify areas of agreement or shared goals and build upon them. Highlighting common interest reduces tension and creates a foundation for compromise. When both parties recognize mutual objectives, discussions become more constructive and solutions are easier to reach. Problem-solving and collaboration should be the focus of difficult conversations. Instead of assigning blame or dwelling on past mistakes, work together to find solutions. Brainstorming, evaluating options, and considering the needs of both parties fosters cooperation and ensures that the conversation leads to productive outcomes. Collaborative communication strengthens relationships and encourages mutual respect. Nonverbal communication remains important in challenging discussions. Maintain open posture, calm gestures, and steady eye contact to reinforce sincerity and composure. Avoid negative signals such as crossing arms, rolling eyes, or tapping fingers, as they can escalate tension. Consistent and positive nonverbal cues help maintain a respectful and professional atmosphere. Follow-up is another important step. After a difficult conversation, reflect on what was discussed, any agreements made, and areas for improvement. Checking in with the other person afterward can reinforce understanding, demonstrate accountability, and maintain trust. Effective follow-up ensures that communication leads to lasting resolution and strengthens relationships over time. Practice and experience improve your ability to handle difficult conversations. Start by addressing smaller conflicts or misunderstandings. Observe outcomes and refine your approach. Over time, you develop confidence, emotional regulation, and effective communication strategies that allow you to navigate challenging discussions with skill and poise. So handling difficult conversations is about fostering understanding, resolving conflict, and maintaining respect. By preparing yourself, listening actively, showing empathy, expressing clearly, managing emotions, choosing the right timing, asking open-ended questions, finding common ground, collaborating, using positive nonverbal communication, and following up, you can navigate even the most challenging discussions successfully. Mastering these skills ensures that communication remains constructive, relationships stay strong, and your influence grows. Chapter 10. The Power of Storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most effective ways to communicate. Humans have been telling stories for thousands of years, and stories remain a powerful tool to inform, persuade, and inspire. When you use storytelling in your communication, you capture attention, make your message memorable, and create an emotional connection with your audience. Whether in personal conversations, professional presentations, or public speaking, mastering storytelling enhances your ability to engage and influence others. The first step in effective storytelling is understanding your purpose. Every story should have a clear goal, whether it is to inform, entertain, inspire, or persuade. Knowing why you are telling a story helps you structure it effectively and select the right details. For example, if you want to motivate someone to take action, your story should highlight challenges, solutions, and outcomes that align with the message you want to convey. Purpose-driven storytelling ensures that your narrative is meaningful and impactful. Engaging the audience is key. People respond to stories that capture their attention and evoke emotion. Start your story with a hook, a question, a surprising fact, or a vivid description that draws listeners in immediately. For example, you might begin with, "Have you ever felt completely unprepared for a challenge, only to find your strength in the most unexpected place?" This immediately engages the listener and encourages them to pay attention. A strong opening is crucial for setting the tone and keeping the audience invested. Clarity and simplicity make storytelling effective. Use straightforward language, avoid unnecessary jargon, and organize your story logically. A clear structure with a beginning, middle, and end ensures that your audience can follow the narrative and grasp the key message. People are more likely to remember and act on stories that are easy to understand and relate to. Simple, well-told stories are powerful tools for communication. Emotion is central to storytelling. Stories that evoke feelings, whether happiness, sadness, excitement, or empathy, create a lasting impact. Sharing personal experiences, challenges, or triumphs makes your story relatable and human. Emotional connection allows your audience to care about the message you are conveying. Leaders, speakers, and skilled communicators use emotional storytelling to inspire action and influence effectively. Authenticity strengthens your story. Share experiences and insights genuinely, without exaggeration or falsehoods. Authenticity builds trust and credibility, making your audience more likely to listen and connect. People are drawn to honesty, and when your story reflects real experiences and emotions, it resonates deeply. Authentic storytelling fosters empathy, understanding, and engagement. Details bring your story to life. Descriptive elements such as sights, sounds, and feelings make the story vivid and immersive. For instance, describing the nervousness you felt before a big presentation or the excitement of achieving a long-term goal allows listeners to visualize and experience the moment. Attention to detail enhances the impact and memorability of your story. Pacing and timing are essential. A well-paced story maintains interest and avoids confusion or boredom. Balance longer explanations with shorter, impactful statements, and allow pauses for reflection or emphasis. Timing key moments, such as the climax or punchline, maximizes engagement and impact. Practicing pacing ensures that your storytelling flows naturally and captivates your audience. Connecting your story to the audience's experiences makes it relevant and relatable. Highlight shared challenges, emotions, or goals to create a sense of familiarity and connection. When listeners see themselves in your story, they are more likely to engage, empathize, and remember the message. Relatability is a critical factor in effective storytelling. Practice improves storytelling skills. Observe skilled storytellers, analyze their techniques, and experiment with different styles. Share stories in everyday conversations, presentations, or social interactions. Over time, your storytelling becomes natural, persuasive, and compelling. Consistent practice allows you to refine your voice, timing, and delivery, making your communication more engaging and impactful. So storytelling is a tool for influence, connection, and understanding. When you use stories effectively, you captivate your audience, convey complex ideas simply, and create emotional resonance. By understanding your purpose, engaging your audience, maintaining clarity, incorporating emotion, practicing authenticity, including details, pacing thoughtfully, making it relatable, and practicing consistently, you can master the art of storytelling. Effective storytelling allows you to communicate powerfully, connect meaningfully, and inspire action in every area of life. Chapter 11. Handling criticism. No matter how skilled you become at communication, criticism is inevitable. People may offer feedback, disagree with your ideas, or point out mistakes. How you handle criticism can greatly affect your confidence, relationships, and growth. Learning to receive and respond to criticism constructively is essential for improving communication skills, building resilience, and maintaining positive interactions. The first step is listening without immediate reaction. When someone criticizes, it is natural to feel defensive or upset. However, reacting impulsively often escalates conflict and diminishes your credibility. Instead, focus on understanding the feedback before responding. Pay attention to the content, tone, and intent of the criticism. This allows you to assess whether it is valid, helpful, or requires clarification. Listening calmly demonstrates maturity and emotional intelligence. Empathy helps when handling criticism. Consider the perspective of the person giving feedback. What are their intentions? Are they trying to help you improve, or are they expressing frustration? Understanding the motivation behind criticism allows you to respond appropriately and constructively. Empathetic responses foster respect and can even turn a potentially negative interaction into an opportunity for collaboration. Separating emotion from the message is another crucial skill. Criticism can feel personal, but often it is about behavior, performance, or communication style, not your worth as a person. Focus on the facts rather than the emotional tone, and avoid letting negative feelings cloud your judgment. By staying objective, you can assess the feedback accurately and make necessary improvements without compromising self-confidence. Clarifying and asking questions enhances understanding. If the feedback is unclear or ambiguous, ask questions to gain specifics. For example, can you give me an example of what you mean? Or what would you suggest I do differently? Thoughtful questions show that you value the feedback and are committed to growth. Clarifying helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures you can take meaningful action. Acknowledging valid points shows maturity. Accepting constructive criticism gracefully demonstrates professionalism and self-awareness. Saying something like, "I see your point, and I'll work on improving that," reinforces your willingness to learn. Acknowledgement does not mean agreeing with everything. It means recognizing areas for improvement and showing openness to feedback. Responding with tact is important. Avoid reacting defensively, arguing, or dismissing the feedback. Instead, respond calmly and respectfully, focusing on solutions or adjustments rather than blame. Effective communication during criticism builds credibility, preserves relationships, and sets a positive example for others. People respect those who can handle feedback with grace and thoughtfulness. Learning from criticism is a powerful way to improve. Constructive feedback provides insights into how others perceive your communication style, strengths, and areas for development. Reflect on the feedback objectively, identify patterns, and create actionable steps for improvement. Growth comes from applying lessons learned, and handling criticism effectively accelerates your progress as a communicator. Confidence helps in processing criticism. When you are secure in your abilities and self-worth, feedback is less likely to feel threatening. Confident communicators view criticism as a tool for improvement rather than a personal attack. By maintaining self-assurance, you can respond thoughtfully, make adjustments, and continue communicating effectively. Practice and resilience develop your ability to handle criticism over time. The more you experience feedback in a variety of situations, personal conversations, work interactions, or public speaking, the more adept you become at managing emotions, extracting lessons, and responding constructively. Resilience allows you to maintain composure, confidence, and effectiveness even in challenging interactions. So handling criticism is about growth and maintaining positive communication. Listening attentively, showing empathy, separating emotion from content, clarifying feedback, acknowledging valid points, responding with tact, learning from the experience, and practicing resilience are all essential. When you approach criticism as an opportunity to improve, you strengthen your communication skills, enhance relationships, and build confidence. Mastering the art of handling criticism ensures that feedback becomes a valuable tool rather than a source of stress or conflict. Chapter 12: Communicating with Influence. Communication is not just about speaking or being heard. It is about influencing others, inspiring action, and creating meaningful impact. Influence in communication means that your words, tone, and presence persuade, motivate, and guide people in a positive direction. Mastering this skill allows you to convey ideas effectively, build trust, and establish yourself as a confident and respected communicator. The first step in communicating with influence is clarity of purpose. Before speaking, understand what you want to achieve. Are you trying to inform, persuade, motivate, or inspire? Having a clear purpose guides your words, tone, and approach. When your message is focused and intentional, your audience is more likely to listen, understand, and respond. People who communicate with purpose are seen as confident, competent, and persuasive. Confidence is essential for influence. When you speak with certainty, authority, and belief in your message, others are more likely to trust and follow your ideas. Confidence comes from preparation, experience, and self-belief. Even if you feel nervous, projecting calm assurance conveys credibility. Confident communicators inspire trust and respect, making their messages more impactful. Storytelling enhances influence by creating emotional connection. People remember stories far more than facts alone. Sharing experiences, challenges, successes, or lessons learned makes your message relatable and compelling. A well-told story captures attention, evokes empathy, and strengthens your ability to persuade. Leaders and skilled communicators use stories strategically to convey values, lessons, and visions that resonate with their audience. Understanding your audience is crucial. Effective communicators know who they are speaking to, their needs, values, and perspectives. Tailoring your message to align with the audience increases engagement and impact. Listening carefully, observing reactions, and adjusting your approach ensures that your communication is relevant and persuasive. Empathy and awareness of audience dynamics are key to influencing others successfully. Nonverbal communication reinforces influence. Body language, gestures, facial expressions, and tone of voice shape how your message is received. Standing confidently, maintaining eye contact, and using deliberate gestures strengthen authority and credibility. Your nonverbal cues must align with your words to create consistency and trust. People are more likely to be influenced when verbal and nonverbal messages match. The use of persuasive language is also important. Choose words that inspire, motivate, and create action. Avoid overly complex or technical language that may confuse your audience. Focus on clarity, simplicity, and emotional resonance. Words that highlight benefits, possibilities, and solutions are more likely to engage and persuade listeners. Skilled communicators use language thoughtfully to maximize influence without manipulating or misleading. Active listening enhances influence. When you understand the concerns, motivations, and emotions of others, you can respond in ways that resonate. Listening carefully allows you to address objections, answer questions, and reinforce key points. People are more receptive to communication when they feel heard and understood. Influence grows when communication is a two-way exchange rather than a one-sided message. Building rapport and trust is essential. Influence cannot occur without credibility and connection. Demonstrating empathy, respect, and authenticity strengthens trust and makes your audience more receptive. People are more likely to follow and support those they trust. Trust is earned over time through consistent, reliable, and respectful communication. Timing and delivery impact influence. Deliver your message when your audience is receptive, attentive, and open. Pacing, emphasis, and pauses help highlight important points and maintain engagement. Adjust your approach based on the context and mood of the conversation. Skilled communicators understand that how and when a message is delivered can be as important as the content itself. Persistence and consistency reinforce influence. Repeating key messages, demonstrating commitment, and consistently aligning words with actions builds credibility. People are more likely to accept and act on ideas that are reinforced over time. Consistency also demonstrates integrity and reliability, which enhances long-term influence. So, ethical communication is the foundation of true influence. Influence should be used to inform, inspire, and empower, not manipulate or coerce. Communicating with honesty, respect, and integrity ensures that your impact is positive and lasting. Ethical influence fosters trust, respect, and meaningful relationships by combining clarity, confidence, storytelling, audience awareness, nonverbal alignment, persuasive language, active listening, rapport, timing, consistency, and ethics. You can communicate with genuine influence and make a lasting impact.